Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back. I'm Tara Priolo. I am your resident Black, biracial, multi passionate musician. I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about and push you to do the same. And I'm going to teach you how to get an intro like that. If you already have an intro that you're really comfortable with, Dr. Flo, who's here with me tonight, has actually taken this multiple times and usually ends up changing his intro a little bit to be a little bit stronger. And the last couple master classes that I have taught, I have like changed around some things. Like the last one was colorful voice. I added red into my brand, which I think I was only not using because it's a part of LA, which doesn't mean I can't use the red. The shade is different, and even if it was the same shade, I'm part of LAA. So anyway, I've had some very exciting developments inside of my own master classes. So I'm excited to see as I do the exercises along with you what might come of today, because I have had this intro for like at least a good 4 years, if not longer. I did change out one word, but yeah, let's get started. Those of you watching this back later, you can put it in the comments if you have questions, or you can email me or whatever, DM me. It don't matter. Just type your pants. Also, this is a random fact. If you all watched Deconstruction Junction last Thursday, you would know that I applied um, these press-ons. And rarely do I ever have press-ons stay on longer than a week. And so while I am missing 4, I actually still have 6 on. That's pretty good for me. It's pretty good for me. All right, let's get to it. Our goal this evening is to build clear, authentic, bold, and concise intros. Oh, this is the last page. This is the last page. This is the last page. Look at that. But the first page looks exactly the same. So, now we're at the beginning. All right. Opening agreements. Those of you that have been to the master classes or watched the replays know that I am like on a kick with these opening agreements. So if you cannot make these agreements, you should stop listening to the masterclass. Okay. So keep curiosity at the center or your center this evening. The more curious we can be about ourselves, the more our intros will feel authentic, and we will be able to craft them into something that meets us today, right now, instead of the person that we were yesterday or the person that we might be in the future. We're crafting this for right now, in the moment, until it feels not aligned anymore, and then we adjust. We make the adjustment. Dr. Flo says, I agree. The second agreement is to dig internal and release the external. Okay. In previous iterations of this masterclass, this one in particular, and actually Colorful Voice, I had a lot of stuff about how you wanted other people to feel. I care not. I care not. Most of today is about what you feel internally. So the agreement we're making is to dig internally and release the external thoughts of other people. All right. This has stayed pretty much verbatim. Why do intros matter anyway? Which I think you all know. Also, my husband and baby just got home, so we're just going to hope that Moose isn't too loud. Why do intros matter anyway? Obviously, they are the first impression. Somebody says hi, you say hi, and they say, who are you? What do you do? Right? So they shape the connection and interest of the other person to you. Okay. A strong intro creates clarity and trust. Again, one of the things that I did in the marketing of this one, of this round, was that I said something that Dr. Flo says a lot, which is that like you have to be interesting for people to be interested. And so saying your intro in a confident, concise, clear manner is a way to be interesting so that people are interested and use the follow-up questions of like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, what what do you do here? What do you do there? What do you like? What does that mean that you do? You know, if you have some interesting work title. Um, and they matter because we use them everywhere. We use versions of our intros in Instagram bios, in person, in the audition room, in on our websites, our long bios, on applications. Like goodness me, uh, let me know in the comments if you got more and if I left some out. Like there's just so many places that we use an intro. In fact, we are almost always introducing ourselves like every second of every day. Really, really, truly. All right. Here's the nuts and bolts of today. This is how simple it is because y'all know I like to just make things like big things into small, digestible things. So here's the 3 questions. Who are you? Who are you? Which is going to be the I am principle, which we'll talk about shortly. What do you do? And why does it matter? I'm going to tack on 2 words to the why does it matter. Why does what you do, this is more than 2 words. Why does what you do matter to you? Not why does it matter globally, internationally, nationally? Why does it matter to you? Who are you? What do you do? And why does it matter to you? You can start percolating on those while we talk about the I am principle. All right. This is essentially the building, this is the basement floor, y'all. Like the first thing they do, well, the first thing they do for a house foundation is to like dig it out and then they put cement down usually, or they level it, right? So this is the base of an intro, the I am. When we say I am, which is coincidentally the root chakra mantra, which is a connection with Love and Action Network. Dr. Flo and I host the Daily Boost on Sundays in the root chakra, and the mantra is I am. Okay, so you're rooting into who the heckin' Bob you are. You anchor into that. And the I am, as you align with that statement, right? I am. You might feel more confident. You might feel more bold. You might feel more at home. You might feel more calm. Like there are all of these things that come from just saying I am. And the reason I harp on this, I didn't say this earlier, but the reason that I harp on the I am is because a lot of people are taught my name is, right? Actually, it was even on, I think, the first slide of this. The my name is kind of circumvents your personal power a little bit, right? Name is like an object that's assigned to you, it's a thing. But who are you? Right? And oftentimes, like the association of our name meanings can get in the way, right? Like my name is blah, blah, blah. For instance, I'm Tara Priolo, right? Priolo is an Italian name. So a lot of times I get associated with Italian. I am not a lick of Italian, but that is something that when I associate the my name is comes up a lot, right? But when I say I am Tara Priolo, then I am an entity unto myself, right? So, root chakra, you can look it up if you want to know more about that. Like I said, it's the base of your spine. It's rooting into the ground, it's anchoring, right? Think about like walking outside barefoot, the roots of the trees, digging deep inside of yourself. All right. I already talked a little bit about presence. Okay. I am is much more present and bold and vibrant than my name is. It's also a choice to be vulnerable and to dig into yourself through the I am principle. Okay. And this is me teaching the 3 questions, y'all, that I asked. Okay. So I have a hair in my mouth. Oh no. More than a label, right? I deal with this a lot with musicians, like, which is why I think the second question matters almost more than the first question on this page. Okay. So a lot of times people will say, well, I am a violinist or I am a singer. And that's kind of it. Like that is the definition of their personality. But reality is that that is just what you do. And so answering the question, why does it matter that you're a singer? Why does it matter that you are a violinist? Why does it matter about your title? Right. So, like, let's say you're an operations manager at a company and you tell people that. Or let's say you're a strategist. Or let's say you are a, what are those people that do like the color pickers? Like they help people learn their natural color palettes, or like the color palette that's most vibrant to them, and they label them as like bold winter. Anyway, those people, all right, that's what they do. But why they do it makes it more than a label, right? It's more than just this thing that sits like the name thing, right? It's more than just something that sits out in the ether, something that sits out in the abyss, something that protects you, right? Because in essence, sometimes we introduce ourselves as our profession first because we're protecting something inside of us instead of just presenting ourselves authentically. That's why the second question is so important. Why does it matter to you? You will create stronger connections. You will get more clients if that is your goal. You will absolutely have long lasting relationships if you're not just meeting people inch deep, right? Okay, I'm off my soapbox. We have more slides than usual, so we're going to go fast, but holler if you need me to stop. All right. Whoo, whoo. I just saw, y'all, I saw an owl backpack with a lady dancing with her hoo-ha with the owl backpack in front of it. Um, Probably 20 minutes before I got on here. So that's in my noggin. All right. So this can sometimes affect how we give our intro. But instead of doing it this way, again, remember the agreement at the beginning was that we were going to dig internal. So the only one of these that actually is external right now is that first question. Okay. The next two are questions for your internal, questions to ask your brain. All right. So who is hearing you now? This is the reality, right? Who is in your audience? Who is coming to your spaces? Who is in your studio? Who are you producing art with? Who are you at work with? Who are these people? Who is hearing you right now in this moment, right? For me, right now, is those listening to the replay and Dr. Flo, who is in the room with me, right? The next question is, who do you want to hear you? I would like this particular masterclass to land in the hands of young, up and coming musicians and entrepreneurs and activists who need a little confidence boost at the beginning of a conversation. And then the next question, how deeply can you describe them? I could go in and I could say, well, I would believe that they're, upper teens to maybe 35, 40, who are actively wanting to speak in the world, wanting to get their voice into the world. So who are you reaching, right? It's just like an application. and a resume, right? You're going to submit, those of you that are performers, you're going to submit a different resume for your performances than you are for like Petco, you know, different resume, different skill set. All right. So let's break apart my intro. All right. Using these questions. So who am I? I am your resident Black biracial multi-passionate musician. Now I did talk about the Black biracial thing on a podcast episode probably a couple months ago about why I changed to Black biracial instead of white facing biracial. And the very simplistic answer of it, well, there's two. Number one, white facing never really felt in alignment. It's actually, white facing is from a book that's over on my shelf that is written by a white person. And it centered white people too much for me. It just centered, I gotta turn, it centered too much whiteness for moi. Okay, so I changed it to Black biracial. That feels more aligned with who I am today. All right, what do? I talk about the ish that no one wants to talk about and push others to do the same. All right, I talk about the ish that nobody wants to talk about and push others to do the same. Now, you notice that is not like a title, that's not a label, that is literally what I do. Right? Now, my like why I do it, I feel like is more implied in the rest of my work than it is in my intro. So that is something I could think about adding, right? Why do I push others to do the same? Why does that matter to me? Because I want more people to be liberated in their person and in the world, right? That's why. Why do I do all of the work that I do? Because I want people to be free. That's it. That's the base model. Okay. Now I do have an extended intro. I very rarely, this goes back to the who am I talking to, right? Who do I want to hear me? So my extended intro is like if I say that to someone and someone says back to me, oh wow, that's really interesting, but like, what do you actually do? Right? Extended. I am the owner operator of Terra Prilo Studio. I'm a facilitator, arts advocate, and vocal disruptor using performance as protest and facilitation as freedom work. Right? Now, if I added that last part, right, particularly the vocal disruptor using performance as protest and facilitation as freedom work, I could move that to the end of the first one and we would have a why I do and more of what I do. Right? It would be a little bit clearer. But the other intro is quick, it's interesting, it's bold, it's vibrant, and it says who I am, which again, the I am principle is the base. If we don't have the base, we do not have anything. Your walls fall over. You must have the base. Who are you today in this moment? Who are you? That's why it's the first question. Who am I? I am Tara Prilo. Right? I am your resident Black biracial multi-passionate musician. That is who I am. It's also subtly what I do, right? I'm a musician. Yeah. If there's questions, let me know. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't let me know. Okay, we're good. Okay. Here are some other examples of, and this is a working exercise. Now, if you were on my Instagram and you saw the post, then you know my answer for this. But those of you watching back, I'll give you a couple minutes. And if Dr. Flo wants to participate, he can. If not, that's cool. But let's say you meet someone and you say, hi, nice to meet you. Who are you? And the person says, oh, I'm 32 years old and I'm kind of a musician, but not really. I haven't been hired in a while. How could we, using the three questions, who is this person, right? Who is this person? What do they do? And why do they do it? How can we make this intro more clear and concise using those 3 questions? And I'll give it a minute. I'm going to take a drink of water. Oh, and of course, you can make things up about this person because we're not really given a lot of information, right? Which is also kind of the whole point. Like, if you just gave this little bit of information, what is interesting about that, and what is confident about that, and what would make a person ask a follow-up question? You know, like, it's really not. That's the whole point. That's the, excuse me, the whole point. One more drink. So, my suggestion, the TPM solution, right, is I am, right? It's a conjunction, it still counts. I'm a multi-instrumentalist making my own wildest dream solo shows come true. It is one sentence. I'm a multi-instrumentalist, what you do and who you are, making my own wildest dream solo shows come true, which subtly says why you're doing the thing that you're doing, because it's a wildest dream, right? And then there's what you do again, solo shows. You're a multi-instrumentalist who programs solo shows, right? Now you could add another sentence that's really the why you do what you do. Or if you do other things, there could be a second sentence, right? So that's the TPM solution. You make up your own and let me know what it is. Okay. It's your turn. It's your turn, folks. It's your turn. Here are the prompts. Remember, we have 3 questions, okay? And we have 3 prompts that go along with those questions. Our questions are, who are you? Or who am I? What do you do? What do I do? And why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to me? Okay, so here are some prompts to get you started. I am, and I would recommend that you do this like in a journal or a notes app or a Google Doc, where you're just literally listing off all of the things you are, right? I am joyful. Like, something that I've thought about as I was crafting this PowerPoint. I was like, something that I would really like to add into my intro, but it's in my closer. But I've been saying around the internet, like, lightly lately, is I'm the joy as the revolution girl, right? I'm the joy as the revolution girly on the internet. Like, that feels very authentic and very fun and very exciting, right? So one of mine would be I am joyful, right? I am intelligent. I am a spitfire. I am a force. I am a disruptor. I am an activist, right? I am a mom. I am a wife. Those are things that I am, right? They could also, some of those could be things that you do, but those are definitely things that I am. Notice that I didn't say singer or teacher, which many of you know that I am both of those things, right? But that I would put in the I do. Remember, we're separating a little bit of the I am with from the I do. I think it makes intros a little bit clearer, right? I am a Black biracial, multi-passionate. All 3 of those are identities rather than labels or employment, right? Now your I do's, right? I've already said a bunch of mine, right? I'm a musician, I'm a singer, I am, I do sing, I do teach, I do facilitate, I do speak, I do create, right? I would also say I am creative. Those ones are kind of intertwined for me. Um, yeah. Okay. Now, also remember the question, who do you want to hear you, right? Who do I want to hear me? So I help or support or bring dot, dot, dot. Someone wants to join this call. Who is it? Just Ryan. Oh, that's an Adopt a Black Artist person, yeah? I think. Oh, they're gone. They're gone. Okay, well, if they join again, we will re-invite them. I don't think I'm in that group. But anyway, okay, moving on. Moving on. So I help. You could say who you help, right? Or I help with blah da da, right? I help young singers learn their scales, right? I support businesses in their ascension. I bring food to the cookout, right? I bring food to the cookout. Um, anyway, so those are the prompts. I am, I do, I help, support, or bring. Uh, I hope that those prompts help a little bit, and let me know if it jogged anything for you in the explanation, whether you're watching this now or later. All right. All right. Let's move to closers. This is something I've never taught before, but I'm excited about it. Okay. So remember how in school, in high school, they told you that papers, when you write papers, it's that you tell them, right, in your introduction. Then you have the body of your paper and you tell them again. And then in your conclusion of your paper, you tell them one more time. You know, that is what we're doing. That is what we're doing. Okay. You tell them who you are and what you do. And then when you leave the room, you tell them again what you do so that they remember you. Okay. Folks need to remember you. All right. They are like, they have to be interested enough to stay, but then they also need to be interested enough to follow up beyond that as you leave. Right now, closers, I'm particularly talking about like at the end of a call, or at the end of a class or whatever, something like that. You could add a statement to the end of your intro about like where to find you, if that makes sense. Like you could add a call to action almost to the end of your intro. So like this works particularly well online. Like if you're curious, I'd love to connect. The I help is almost like a closer statement, like I help XYZ with XYZ. That's like a closer statement, call to action at the end of an intro. But in particular, what I'm teaching today is closing a room. So after you've spent 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 14 hours with people, how are you leaving them? Right? How are you leaving them? So there's three kind of different versions, but your closer can have all of these. So I hope this makes sense. Again, first time I'm teaching it, so get it together. All right. So values statement, right? So again, this is something that maybe is in your I am, right? But you're going to reiterate it. So it's what you believe or what you stand for, right? Dr. Flo says, stay in your power, right? That's the first line of Dr. Flo's closer. Mine is continue to be anti-racist, right? So those are values statements, right? And Dr. Flo's is really like the whole thing is more of a value statement, but it's also the second thing on this list, which is a care statement. So how you hold space for others. So I would say Dr. Flo's last line, stay loved and lovable, is like a care statement, right? How you want others to be held by you as they leave the space. right? And then a signature mantra or invitation. Y'all know mine. It is joy is the revolution. Dr. Flo's mantra is loved and lovable. You are loved and lovable. You are loved and lovable. You are loved and lovable. Okay. Dr. Flo also used to have a closer that, well, and he says it sometimes too, still, but may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free of all suffering is another one, right? That I would say is a combo of the care statement and a mantra, right? It's a combination of those. So, and I'm just using Dr. Flo because I know his stuff well. And we will break down my full one in just a second. But again, values are what it sounds like. How do you want to leave them? With a values statement, right? What you believe or what you stand for, right? Like, I bleed blue would be another closer, right? If you're a Democrat, or I bleed purple if you're a Vikings fan, right? Like, how you hold space for others, your care statement, like how do you want people to like Fiona says one, um, you have a voice and the world deserves to hear you, right? That's like a care statement, right? And it's also a signature mantra and invitation. So I hope this makes sense. I definitely hope it makes sense. Uh, Another one would be like, you are so enough, it hurts, would be a mantra and a care statement all wrapped into one. So these can be long, they can be short. But again, the point is that you are reiterating bits of who you are and what you do and what you want people to go do after meeting with you. They have to remember you. So you have to be interesting, but then you also have to remain interesting, right? And that's not a tall order. That's not me saying like you got to perform. It's just me saying that you need to remain interesting. All right. So, crafting closers. Okay, so this is another exercise. So we had the I am, I do, I help. There was another word that I can't remember because there's a lot of words. I help, support, or bring. And now we have some more questions for you to answer about your closers. So I want you to think for a second. What are some phrases, affirmations, and mantras that you have adopted for your life and repeat over yourself often? Mine is definitely joy is the revolution, right? You are so enough, it hurts. Um, I can achieve great things. Um, I let go of what does not serve me. Right? These are like some mantras, affirmations, phrases that I speak over myself. There we are again. Me. Here we go. I think we're joining. I think we're joining. Hmm. There we go. Hello, Just Ryan. We're at the tail end, but welcome. Um, we are recorded, so just so you know, but if you are interested in saying something, just feel free to raise your hand, and I will come over or check or put it in the chat and I will check it as it bops up. But welcome. It's nice to meet you. And I will resume this masterclass, but welcome to you. All right. So we answered the first question. What is the feeling that you want to leave people with? What is the feeling that you want to leave people with? And again, like this could be, um, it could be multiple emotions, right? Like I want people to leave feeling a little bit freer than they came, right? I want people to feel fired up. I want people to feel excited. I want people to feel joyful. I want people to feel uplifted, like I don't know, like I have a lot of I feels. All right. And we're welcoming in the chat, so I'm just reading. All right. Also, another part of a closer is how can they find you? So something that neither Dr. Flo or I say, but like we say our names an awful lot, so I think you can find us. Although at the beginning, when I close the clubhouse rooms, I do say the handles, but how can they find you, right? So like I'm at Andre and the Flow on the internet. I'm at Terra Parlo Studio on the internet, like whatever. Places they can find you. I'm found at terraparlo.com/links, right? At the beginning of Clubhouse rooms, Dr. Flo often has people do intros, roses, thorns, needs, and seeds. And in the seeds, that's a closer. Okay, we're talking about closers. That's a closer where you can put how people can find you. So that is another one. I find it to be less interesting. I like the first two questions. I think it crafts a more engaging closer, but it's also important for people to find you on the internet. However, if you're interesting enough, people will find you regardless of if you tell them where to find you. They'll find you. All right. So I've already mentioned this in like why is it important? But like literally everywhere. You use intros and closers every time you meet someone, every time you walk across the internet, every time like your Instagram bio is an intro and a closer in one. I don't even know what mine says right now. Hold on. I'll go look. Hold on. I'm gonna give you some examples. Okay. Yep. Liberated voice, radical art. Joy is our revolution. I release entanglements for creatives to be free. So again, remember I was talking about how I wanted a joy statement, right? In my intro, that I could add it like this. Anyway, I release entanglements for creatives to be free, studio, album, and community in the links. That's my bio. I'm going to look for Dr. Flo's thumbs up, but I think he's probably okay with me reading his. He's at Andre and the Flow on the internet, y'all. And again, we have an intro, really, is what we have. A lot of do, right? Love and Action Network as a community. Mine has that in it too, but I just didn't read it. Broadway performer and teaching artist and producer, pro clarity coach, and community builder. It's a blender too, job equals hashtag wholeness, right? So the wholeness, which I'm not sharing the screen, but I'm highlighting, is a part of this closer, right? It's a phrase, it's a word or a mantra that's repeated over yourself, right? So yeah, I hope that like makes sense. We use them literally everywhere. Websites, bios, in the audition room, the I am principle comes into play. Or when you're like presenting your visual art, right? Oftentimes you only get the chance to say, especially in the audition room, you say, I am Terra Paralo, and I will be singing blah da da. But the I am can be used to center you. We already talked about all that. Join the root chakra, lovedandlovable.bio.link. Lovedandlovable.bio.link. All right. So if there was anyone that wants to practice right now, we totally can. Just Ryan, I know that like you're literally just coming in, so you're probably like, I don't know what I'm doing. Cool. But if you want to do your intro or you want to put them in the chat right now, I can audit in real time. Otherwise, those of you watching later, bop them in the comments or send me a DM, and I am happy to kind of do some audits in real time. When you are speaking, I would be able to do some voice coaching with that. So, but before we do that, let me talk about building confidence. I already talked about the I am. The I amness is a confidence builder, right? Breathing deep. We're going to do a breathing exercise really quick. I didn't plan on doing this, but we're going to do a breathing exercise. Yes. Okay, I see you in the chat. I'm coming for you. So if you just take a deep breath, all right, just everybody take a deep breath, and I'll feel the energy in the room shift, and I'll know if you did it or not. Take a deep breath and just blow it out. Okay, now this time when you take that deep breath, I want you either silently or out loud to say I am in a bunch of different like feelings, right? Angry, joyful, sad, things like that. All right. So breathing in and then thinking or speaking out loud. I am. That's my baby in the background, y'all. I am. I am. I am. Right? Release the rest of your air. You feel it? You feel it? It's like the tingliness. Now, we're going to do one more deep breath in. And I want you to say, I am as a fully grounded, authentic being that you already are, right? Rooting into yourself, right? Here we go. I am. Now, one thing that I noticed is that I slowed down, right? So sometimes when I say my intro, I'm going pretty lickety split because it's long, a lot of words, a lot of people already know me. And part of that is that what I've been stuck on all week is that I'm not open and available to new people coming in, right? I just assume that these people already know me and nobody else is coming. So why bother slowing it down? But that I am, right? If I now said my intro after that, I am Tara Priolo, right? That's very different than I'm Tara Priolo, right? One shoving me off to the side, the other one is standing in my full confidence and authenticity, right? Also building confidence. So breath exercises, I am, but building confidence sometimes comes from just doing it. A great way to practice your intro is to literally just get on a live stream somewhere or a private live stream, or come to a Google Meet with someone that you trust and start speaking it out loud, right? Just keep it going. Sometimes it just is repetition, right? Until you really feel it in your bones. My Adobe is like blinking at me. That was very annoying. All right. Once you have the confidence, it's about releasing your voice, as my child does very confidently. So releasing your voice, like I think you heard when I read my Instagram one. I really love to release the entanglements. I love to remove the hiccups that are happening. So when we are doing our intros, we have to be confident, we have to be concise, we have to be clear, right? But we can't be stuttered in that. And so the breathing exercise really takes care of this. The voice begins in the breath. The way that we introduce ourselves begins in the breath. If you take in a shaky breath, your intro is going to be shaky, baby. Your voice is going to shake, right? We can really hide behind written words, but when we have to speak it, that's a whole different thing. So trust your breath, root your breath in your body. Okay. I often tell singing students, breathe to your big toe. That's not physically possible, but that is where we're breathing to. Okay. Breathe to the big toe, rooted in your body. All right. I'm coming for the chat, I think, because yes, we are second to last slide. All right. We're going to do a mini audit, y'all, because I saw a chat. I saw it. Yes. Okay. So this is just Ryan's. I'm going to put it up on the screen if I can. Will you let me out of my full screen, girly pop? No, you don't want to let me out of my full screen. That's not nice. That's okay. I got it. Don't worry about it, girl. All right. Here we go. Here we go. One more time. Everybody feeling pain. Right. Okay. Here we go. That should be there. That should. Oh gosh. It added like multiple pages. Okay. Here we go. So my intro. And will you clarify in the chat for me, just Ryan, that this is maybe what's on Instagram? I feel like I saw this on your Instagram.
Yeah, correct. That is my bio on Instagram.
Perfect. Okay, so chronic rewriter, occasional finisher, and your favorite storytelling hedonist. Yes. Okay, so I feel like we mm, this is a lot of what you do, right? Rewriter, chronic rewriter, occasional finisher, but there's not a lot of who you are in this, right? Except for that little last part. But I think one thing that I would do right off the bat is like move the not is like I would move your favorite storytelling to the beginning, right? I am your favorite, because if we add the I am at the beginning, if you were actually introducing yourself to someone instead of the Instagram bio, um, I think you might, or introducing yourself to a room full of people, right? Um, I think that would be good to come first because it tells us about you, right? Um, Chronic rewriter, occasional finisher. Is that all that you want to portray? It feels okay. Go ahead. I see you off mute. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Yes and no. Because one of the things that when I was thinking about like my branding and what I wanted my brand to look like, I know that I struggle with consistency, and I didn't want anybody who would become a fan of mine to expect, oh, she's writing a new story every week. Oh, like, no, that's not me. And so that was one of the things that I wanted to highlight in my brand, because even on my page, it says Ryan sometimes writes.
Gotcha. Do you feel in your person any shame about being an occasional finisher, or is that you projecting onto other people that they're going to feel some type of way about the consistency?
I think it's the latter. Now that you say it out loud, I think it's the latter.
Great. Okay. And that's what this masterclass has been all about, which is like, this is so great. This is perfect. Um, so, and I just had this conversation in a different coaching space with somebody else. People don't care as much as we think they do. Like they just really don't. And also a lot of people struggle with the consistency. And so I think, I think occasional finisher is fine. And chronic rewriter is fine, but it's to me when I read it, it's acting as a little bit of a shield to like who you really are, which is the your favorite storyteller, right? Like who you want to be is the your favorite storyteller. That's what's aligning with who you are. And so that's what I want to bring forward, as opposed to like, oh, but your favorite storyteller would present a piece every week or every day, or like your favorite storyteller would be going live and writing stories. Like that's an expectation that you don't have to set for yourself if it doesn't feel aligned in the today. So I would take a second and write. So, and earlier in this masterclass I talked about it, but I would use the prompt I am, write down however many words that takes, and I'm talking like, I am joyful, I am gracious, I am exciting, I am purple, I am you're I am smiley if you're Piper, my kiddo, right? Just writing those things down, and then write I do, right? I do write. I do finish sometimes. I do change projects often. Like these things that you do, write them down, and separate them out a little bit, because part of what I'm like, just the energy that I'm getting off of this in particular is just a little bit of confusion on the I am versus the I do. And then the last part is, why does it matter? Right? So why does it matter to you, or does it matter to you, that you switch projects a lot, that you only sometimes finish, that like explore that and feel it out, feel if that's the real thing that you want to be presenting, because like you kind of said, like it's presenting an apology, right? It's like, oh, I don't want you to know I don't really finish stuff, and like I don't want you to like have an expectation of me, like it's an apology forward almost. We don't want that. We want like badassery forward, right? We want boldness forward. Yeah. Does that make sense? Is that helpful?
No, it's extremely helpful. You know what's so funny? I'm gonna try and find my dating profile intro because I plan out my dating profile intros too. So I'm gonna try and
Yes.
find that. But a lot of what you're talking about is in my dating profile intro. So I think what I need to do is possibly combine them, condense it, you know.
Yes. And take up the space. I mean, like, that is the thing. Like this, so this is bold, but it's bold in like a kind of closeted way, you know? It's like a little bit of a closeted, like, oh, I want to be bold. Yes, I am bold. Yes, I'm excited, but mm, I'm sorry about it. You know? And so I bet you if you combine them, and even if it stayed long, like that would be more authentic Ryan than what this is presenting. This is presenting to me, you know, I need to be correct online. And I don't think we need to be correct or perfectionist in the online space. People are attracted to our authenticity and we smell it when people aren't being authentic. Like even with one word. Like I don't even know you that well and I like chronic rewriter, occasional finisher doesn't even feel like you. Like your voice is so joyful, your voice feels like depth. It feels like you do finish. Like I think finisher is so relative, right? Finisher is so relative because it's like, yeah, maybe people are expecting books, but like for you, it could just be the finishing of a feeling. So like you always finish that because in your voice, you're telling me that you're finishing, right? Like you're sewing up that emotion right then in your voice, in just the way that you're speaking right now. So trust that. And let me know what you come up with because I would love it. I would love it. All right. I'm coming to check the chat one more time, and then I'm going to demonstrate my closer, and we'll be out of here. Maybe I'm going to check the chat one more time. Jeez, too many buttons, y'all. Okay, yes, I see you in the chat. I see you in the chat. Yes, dating profile. Is it okay if I read these out loud?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry,
Okay,
I was trying to push buttons too. I'm old.
you're good. Okay, I believe my non-face card don't decline, and y'all should already know who I am. Okay, like again, that I get the boldness, right? In the same way that I get the boldness from your favorite, right? Your favorite, I would put something in about your face card, child. But that's just me. My toxic trait. I believe I am and act like the queen of England, right? I am your storytelling queen, right?
Okay,
I
okay,
am your
I get you.
storytelling
Okay,
queen,
okay.
right? Like that's that again, one of the points of this particular iteration of Nail Your Intro, because I've taught this before, is to really go inside of yourself as opposed to like, and I have it in my bio or in my intro too, which is your resident. But I could take that out because that's about other people. That's not about me, right? It's not about me. It's a subtle, like, I want to stay in your life. But like, I could just say, I am a Black, biracial, multi passionate musician, and that's a little bit stronger, right? I am a storytelling queen, right? Um, they got moaning from me. Yeah, I would love for you to add something like that into the intro. And I'm scanning here. Uh, Scorpio energy, that could be something cool to bring to the intro. Um, I will not unicorn, right? So oh, okay, yes, swinger, vixen, no, I will not unicorn. But and like not a unicorn kind of fits with this occasional finisher thing. I would explore that a little bit. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I'm going somewhere with it that I'll think about more. Um, Pansexual writer model, yes. Okay, so different mediums, right? Expression through different mediums. I am a storytelling queen expressing through different mediums, sometimes finishing. Like, I don't know, something is picking up. I'll have to work through this a little bit more. So I'm going to copy and paste this so that I can, um, and I think, yeah, I can find you on WhatsApp because I will do some work here too on that. So effective. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is so good. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I really like your favorite storytelling queen, like mayhaps spelled like, like Queen, or like some fancy way, or Kween, or something, like whatever, you
That's
know?
actually on brand with me. A lot of my like the titles of my stories and my poetry, I never spell the words correctly. Like
Yes.
never.
Okay, so why is your blurb so perfect?
I figured it had to be perfect, you know?
I understand. I understand, but we're breaking that paradigm today. It doesn't have to be
Okay.
perfect because
Okay.
you, like I said, you come through when you're talking to me right now. You come through. This is like, it could be anybody that I met on the internet. I can't meet another you on the internet. I literally cannot do it because you are you. You are a unicorn and you're not a unicorn at the same time. But like that misspelling, that thing that tells us to like go look at your writing, right? That gets me interested. Like a misspelled word or several misspelled words inside of a written bio on Instagram. I'm like, ooh, why they spell it that way? I want to know, right? Like,
Okay.
mm, and Dr.
Understood.
Flo was lighting up with the emoji, so I think he agrees. I think he agrees. All right, y'all. We are at an hour, so I am going to take us out of here. This has been Nail Your Intro Masterclass with Tara Priolo. I will follow up with you, just Ryan, because I've got it all copied and pasted and written down, and I'm happy to continue to help you. For those of you listening to this back later, if you want help like that, book either a alignment check or alignment reset, or you can just drop it in the comments and I'll do what I can in the async conversation. And with that, here's my closer from me, from Terra Priolo Studio. I'm so used to the Clubhouse one. Hi. Hi. Hang on one second, babes. Um, Continue to be anti-racist. Be safe. Wear a mask. Make good trouble. Do good work. I love y'all hardcore. Joy is our revolution. Step into it, belong to it, and walk in it today. And I will see you all next week for Empowered Hello with Dr. Flo. Dr. Flo is teaching next week, y'all. All right. I'm stopping the share. I'm coming back over here to stop the recording, and to say goodbye to those of you that are live on the call. If I can find the stupid recording button. Good Lord. All right. There we go.